You've only got 4,000 weeks in your entire life, almost. And if you're 18 and watching this video right now, you've probably used up almost 1,000 weeks in your life. Now, you're someone who wants to manage time and who want to do a lot of things and who want to be productive, and you always feel like there's always more to do, and you don't have this sort of control with your time. Well, you may not be aware of what the true reality is. In this video, I reveal secrets about time control attainment from insights from this book, 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman, and some of my own experiences and some of the productivity principles that exist today that will help you achieve more productive control of your time and will change the way you view your time. And also I'll provide some systems by the end of this video to implement that in your life. I basically help ambitious people achieve productivity through mind maps and fostering a positive mindset so that you can implement systems that make work more fun and more attainable. First point, that is problem with time and your day and how time evolved. Okay, so you will gain time control if and only if you accept and acknowledge finitude or finitism. Like, you know what is infinite and finite, right? Finitude. Plus, you need to accept that you can't get all things done, and that is the essential thing. I'll explain more why it really makes sense. So the book's core idea is that here's basically you, okay? And now you have your dreams and the external world, right? And the community. All of these have tasks inside them, right? There's some sort of to-do lists based on this: your world, your dreams, something that you want to achieve, the world, maybe university, your community, maybe other household chores, right? And the problem, okay, we're talking about the problem is A, not enough time to finish those tasks, B, dilemma of what tasks to choose. You want to gain attainment over your time and control it and manage time effectively so that you feel free. Like, that's why you're in this video, but you don't necessarily feel like you have control over the things that you schedule, or you're trying to do things but you feel like they are not getting done, or they're not getting done in time, right? Now, that is the problem, right? Essentially. And since you want authority over time, the first priority must be, from this book and from other places as well, I realize, is that to accept that all things cannot be done. And that's a true reality. And you're trying to fight with the nature if you're trying to get every single thing done, right? And that's essentially my own motive to guide you guys. And most of my videos talk about the fact of how nature has a differentiating factor with how humans respond and produce outputs, right? You have to understand how the nature works in order for you to work with the nature, right? So, and the second priority should be practicing. Well, practicing what? Choosing one thing over 1,000 other things, and that is life. People don't even realize it's the main reason you want to break up with someone right now is basically to have a taste of another different person, and you don't even know that this is the reason, but it is true, because human minds, human instinct is about like getting different sort of tastes, like this idea of unsettlement, like you give up too early on a goal just because you're not getting results, is also a human instinct form of unsettlement. And we don't even realize that unsettlement is also instilled in the very microscopic world that depicts our time productivity or our control over time. So why does it really matter? Well, here's an excerpt from the book which is very crucial, that it really changed my view on time. Okay, think of it as an existential overwhelm. The modern world provides an inexhaustible supply of things that seem worth doing. Like, there are so many things that may seem worth doing, right? And so there arises an inevitable and unbridgeable gap between what you'd ideally like to do and what you can actually do. You want to do a lot of things. Like 1 month ago, I was feeling like doing a lot of things, and I was saying, oh my God, this world has so much less time. You don't even realize that, but my friend, you're trying. The only reason you're still watching this video because you have hopes that you can attain productivity in a productive manner with time. And my friend, I just gotta tell you that I realized quite like 10 days ago, and you must realize it as well, that time attainment comes from accepting how the reality works. And that way you can distinguish yourself from all the other 1,000 people that are not watching this video, right? And and I think it's more about changing the way you think should be able for you to subconsciously achieve more control over your work and subconsciously make your road path to productivity. Okay, can you fight against this idea? Like, can you fight against nature? The answer is no. You cannot fight against nature or finitism. And the key idea is to accept it very chronologically and very consciously, because you need to realize that you're trying to achieve infinite things by trying to do infinite things in the day. Like, I'm doing this, that, and this, and this. Yes, I try to do a lot of things as well. But you have this emptiness inside you because only because you feel like you're not doing enough, or like progress is slower. No, no, no. I think it's more about whether the progress is placed into the right corner, right? And that's what I'm trying to do here. So you could have done a billion other things, but you feel, it's very important how you feel. You feel you are missing out. You need to do a lot. You are feeling this sort of unrest inside you that, oh my God, why can I not manage my time, right? And at the end, it's very, very logical to realize that humans are made to choose one thing over the other, because you will die one day and you want to use that time effectively in a way that you're not feeling like you're always working, as well as you're not trying to do a thousand different things, right? You're good at what you do and continue to do that. Now, it's not a video about you need to specialize on one thing. No, what I'm trying to send the message here is basically that understand the differences between setting too many tasks or trying to always gain control versus the difference between uh, actually accepting the fact that mistakes can happen, and then throughout those small period of time within the progress you are attaining control by enjoying the process. And that's what the true difference from perspective that should be, if you're watching this video. Now, the writer also quotes that if you never stop to ask yourself if the sacrifice is worth it, like if sacrificing other things are worth it to do one specific task, your days will automatically begin to fill with not just with more things, but with more trivial or tedious unnecessary things, because they've never had to clear the hurdle of being judged more important than someone else. You're trying to do a lot, but you're not assessing if that lot is actually helping you a lot, right? And that's also a form of prioritizing your own day every single day. And you can literally ask your own inner self, is your time worth it for this sort of task? Now, the second thing, meaningful productivity with time. Why is this important? Because in this video, you're trying to build a relationship with time that is more productive and you can gain control over it, right? So you need to understand what productivity defines in my perspective, or I would say in a more healthy perspective, in a very short way. Okay. So once acknowledgement of overcoming the unrest that I explained previously inside you has been resolved, which I believe I did, now you need to understand that you are ready to take control of your time in a more sensible way. Okay. Now, how to do that? What is, like, the question is, what is productivity? See, by this time you realize that productivity is an aftermath, okay? An aftermath of plus finite acceptance, plus work life balance, plus feeling happy. That's something that I prioritize in every single of my videos. And why does it really matter? See, feeling happy comes from understanding the core dynamics between three essential, I would say, entities in this universe, in this tangible universe. Okay, first of all is you, and the dynamics between you and the nature, and the dynamics between you and how things evolve. Now, what is the relationship between three entities? It is literally this. First is nature at the very end. You have no control over it, and it is the foundation. And second, you need to understand how things evolve, which I'll really cover in this video in a very short way that will help you a lot. And thirdly, the dynamics of you, like understanding you and setting your own guidelines. These, if you accept this, actually, like really accept this, you will start to see how things go into place more happily. Like you won't feel you're missing things out. Okay, so during times, let's talk about times during industrial revolution. Okay, in the book, the writer was pointing out from a sentence, we actually have more leisure time than we did in previous decades before industrial revolution. Okay, revolution, an average of about 5 hours per day for men, and only slightly less for women. But perhaps one reason we don't experience life that way is that leisure no longer feels very leisurely, right? And that's why you're not productive. You feel like you want time management, and time management is all about productivity and working all the time. I don't think so. It's it's a it's a weird mindset that have been evolved from the part of industrial revolution, right? And like many of our time travels, research suggests that this problem grows worse the world you have the more world you have, the more worse it gets, because you like to get busy. And also, why time? Like, oh my god, how did even time come from? So time wasn't actually a thing before. Okay, it is a thing that there was probably some sort of like measurement to measure people's amount of work that they did, right? Literally. See, here's the thing. So, in a part of the sentence, it is a customer, there is else there is grudging and murmuring, and then man at noon he must have his sleeping time, then his beaver in afternoon, which spendeth a great part of the day. That is a quote from another book. It's talking about the idea of man always trying to rest and then work. I don't necessarily feel like that is also a good approach, but what I'm trying to say is that human instinct, or I would say like the culture, have evolved in a way where we always tend to think of work as the default set of function for us and leisure as the undefault set of function, whereas the default set of function for human was basically leisure. I think what you need to do right now is try to have a mindset in between of those, not even work, not even leisure, some sort of a neutral sort of approach to time and productivity. Okay, and if you see, this is history, right? And I'm using history to change how you can feel right now, so to gain control of your time, right? And this created this tangible entity of time. I believe time productivity is guilt, like it should be guilt independent, and that is the real definition of time productivity. And you should view leisure as not as a task, but as nothing. And that is the true thing. Okay. And there's also another a quote that is, and it leads to the insight that meaningful productivity often comes not from hurrying things up, but from letting them take the time they take, surrendering to blah 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 blah. It's very important. You're trying to finish a lot. Okay, that's good. But finishing is also important, as well as important with doing the thing with a process that you enjoy. It's the process. It's not the start or the end. It's the process. Okay. And I think exactly like meaningful productivity comes from synthesized concentration. That's what I believe. This is my interpretation. And then encapsulating properly how the time is flowed, or like understanding the flow of time. This intersection should give you a very good life. Okay. And meaningful productivity is recreating the meaningful small tiny slices of experiences that make work better, right? Like going through the thing is all you care about. Now, all about productivity in my videos are, that's you, okay? And you have a finite, you have an infinite process based goals, right? Like, what do I mean by infinite process based goals? Well, you start something and you don't even think of like ending all the time, right? Even though your life is finite, but a goal may be infinite in a way within your finite life, if that makes sense. Like, I exercise and then I'll stop after 1 week. No, no, it's like I am choosing to exercise for the rest of my life. There's no end to the goal, but within that goal, within that process, I'm enjoying the process, if that makes sense. Okay, in a finite time. Okay, now, thirdly, finally, that is the relationship to continue and apply with the systems that I've come up with, or from the book, basically. So here's you have coherence and clarity of time reality. That's what I explained throughout this video. Now, coherence. Okay, here's a point about coherence. In a more and more context, patience becomes a form of power, because people are not patient nowadays. Your attention span is crazy doomed. Okay, in a world geared to hurry, the capacity to resist the urge to hurry, to allow, is to be patient and push yourself, like pull yourself away. And that's a very high, I would say, a very critical power that you can have. Okay, hence use patience to drive finite tasks, achieving happy, meaningful productivity. Okay, that's my formula. And what is the system that I'm talking about? So every system that you implement should answer 70% or like two-thirds of this. Okay, like A, if it makes you happy or neutral, or does it really make you demotivated or demoralized, is the task. B, is it a clear yes or a no? Like, do you want to do the task? Not like, do you need to do the task? Now, sometimes you don't want to do the task, that's fine. But like, do you need to do the task? It's a clear yes or no. And C, does it create the fight against finitude or finitism? That's something you should answer. Okay, now, here's some system implications from the book. First of all, what you can do is like having a fixed scheduled productivity. So, what is fixed scheduled productivity? You have to set like non-negotiable time blocks permanently for many weeks or months, like probably studying, probably doing anything, but like very small amount of like very solid amount of time distributed throughout the week, but not too compact. Okay, like not too spread out, like some, okay, like 1 or 2 hours a day, and that's it. And you stick to it, you promise yourself to it to the best of ability, and that should really help you. Second system, that is set finite limit to the task. What am I trying to mean here? You may have two to-do lists, but one list among them is a priority master list. You can set a limit like 5, 6, 7, or basically 10 tasks, and you only like are allowed to give another task like only when one task is finished, like the slot is like, like gets emptied, right? And if you set that rule to yourself, this really works like a charm. Like you work towards something to be able to do another work that you want to do, not like you push the work to the list. No, in order for you to put it into that list, in that master list, you have to work through that list, like maybe 1 or 2 lists. Like it frees up the slot, and that creates this sort of system that pushes yourself. Okay. Thirdly, the decision filter. Okay, this is a very easy decision filter. Number one, is this task or project truly important to my goals? You can ask this. Number two, will it bring long-term satisfaction or any impact? Is it a clear yes or is it a clear no? Or is it like a half no? Okay. Priority, like you need to prioritize one thing. Like it's a pro tip. Okay, avoid adding tasks to your list that takes less than 5 minutes to do. Just do it right away. That's it. Simple as that. Okay. You must ensure free times throughout the day. Despite having all these systems implemented, you must stick with the philosophy of how time works. Okay. Number fourth of the system that you can implement is minimum viable output. You can set a standard in your life. Like, okay, if I get to do 60% of the task that I make, then I should be happy. That's something that covers an idea from this book, Finish by John Acuff. He talks about finishing 50% of the task by halving the goal. And that's how you create happiness. You need to like artificially use systems to make yourself happy. It's not like fake happiness. It's you're actually making yourself better in a way that you don't even understand, right? And that defines your post-work happiness, right? It defines it. Fifthly, rest. Oh my god, rest in a way that doesn't feel like a task. Rest with intention, without thinking, oh, this is another task or to-do list. Like, just do nothing. Okay, and that's basically it. Like if you feel like you understand, harness, and then repeat, if this chronological process makes sense to you, then try seeing my channel and some of the other videos that I create regarding productivity and how to achieve a mindset using mind maps to help you gain a more productive life. Till then, see you in the next video, and make sure to like this video and probably hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. Till then, bye bye.